Hello, welcome, or perhaps welcome back to this channel, Mr. TraveLux. Hey there, I'm Madison, the founder and CEO of Reliant Destinations and MyCaribbeanLuxury.com. I'm delighted that you've taken a moment to stop by this channel, Mr. TraveLux. Here today, we are going to peel back the curtain at a great resort. This is also the largest resort when it comes to Sandals Beaches Resorts. Yes, this is Sandals Ochi. Now, if you are new here to this channel, we do a lot of different things. We do insider peeks at resorts and in terms of resort tours, and we also do that in terms of the suites and rooms, looking at those in great detail as well. We also do fact videos, everything you need to know videos, and really everything in between. Today, this is a video where we're going to talk about the things that you really want to know about Sandals Ochi. So if you are thinking to visit Sandals Ochi, you want to have a look at this video for lots of information, some things you may already know, but hopefully some brand new facts for you, things that will help you, of course, have the best stay possible. If you are thinking to book that perfect trip to tropical paradise, we encourage you to reach out. So my team and I at Reliant Destinations, we offer 100% complimentary concierge services. This allows you to have the very best experience and go into your vacation knowing that not only do you have the best support behind you, but that of course you got the best deal guaranteed and that you have had all the access to information to make sure that you maximize every moment and create those dreams for a lifetime. So again, if my team and I can be of any assistance whatsoever, if you're thinking to book, or even if you just booked and just want to check things over, you can reach out. That's hello@reliantdestinations.com. Again, that's hello@reliantdestinations.com. But for now, let's jump straight into this everything you need to know video about Sandals Ochi Beach Resort. Let's go. Sandals Ochi. Yes, indeed, I am excited to talk to you about this resort today. When I first became familiar with Sandals many years ago, this is one of the first properties that I visited, and it's a great option, especially for those that are looking for something on the lower price point end of the spectrum, and also those that are looking for kind of, I always say, to dip their finger into the Sandals experience and see essentially what's up. So this resort here, Sandals Ochi, yes, it is the largest of the Sandals resorts and also is the cheapest of the Sandals resorts, and we'll discuss a little bit why those two things are kind of happening at the same time here in a minute. But first, let's talk about where this resort is. So as the name so aptly suggests, Ochi, yes, this is in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. And Ocho Rios, Jamaica is going to be about a 90-minute drive from the #1 major tourist airport in Jamaica, which is going to be the MBJ airport code. That's the Sangster International Airport, and that is going to be in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Typically about a 90-minute journey, could be a little less, it could be some more if you hit the worst time of traffic, but that's roughly what you can expect. There is also a new airport which has arrived in Jamaica, and that's actually here in Ocho Rios itself. That is the OCJ Ian Fleming International Airport, and it's a very small airport, but honestly, in the next few years, we expect this to grow and expand. Only a few airlines have started playing around with it at the moment, and there's very limited air options in and out of there, but if you are somewhat flexible and convenience is the top priority for you, well, I would suggest that you definitely can look at that as an option, although for the vast majority of travelers, the best option in terms of pricing and availability and just overall flexibility will be indeed coming from Montego Bay. So there is one other airport as well. If you do just get absolutely stranded for some reason, you have the Kingston International Airport, which is going to be in the capital city of Kingston across the island. However, it just doesn't offer necessarily as good of a driving path, and there's also a lot of, I would say, less flexibility that exists at that airport. So in general, we recommend first and foremost for you to come from Montego Bay, or if you are someone that's a bit adventurous, you're welcome, of course, to explore that new airport, the OCJ Ian Fleming. So now we've kind of talked about where it is. One of the reasons that I like coming from Montego Bay myself is I actually like the drive. So one of the nice things about this resort, which definitely cannot be said about all of the resorts, is that you get a pretty decent drive. So it's a rather straight shot right down the coast of Jamaica when you're going to Sandals Ochi or the Ocho Rios area in general. So what this means is that you are going to get a really nice cultural and scenic experience. Now, there's other resorts, for example, if you're driving the Sandals South Coast from Montego Bay, where you can also get a very nice drive with a probably a superb, I could say, experience when it comes to the cultural aspect, but that is going to be quite windy, and you're going to go over some mountains and hills there. And for those that are a little bit less adventurous in terms of driving, I would say don't be scared of the drive to Sandals Ochi. It's pretty long and it's pretty straight, and so it's not something where you're going to be curving around, but you do cross through quite a few different parishes and towns there, and you get a really good look at Jamaican lifestyle and also some of the major attractions that we like to point people towards. So you'll pass lots of those, for example, like the Duns Falls. So those are things which you'll pass on that journey towards Ocho Rios. In terms of Sandals Ochi as a resort, so I did mention it is the largest of the resorts, and that's definitely true. First, when it comes to dining's something which I'm really passionate about. I'm a huge foodie. So when it comes to food, there's no shortage of options at Sandals Ochi. You have 16 options for dining. So these options, of course, in these options, you're going to have a mix of breakfast, lunch, dinner, different choices, but you're also going to have some of those that are available for all of them and some of those that are just available for some of them. And that's, of course, to be expected. When it comes to the restaurants, I would say these are all very good, tasty restaurants, but don't expect necessarily at the moment to have the top trend restaurant dining that you have at some of the other Sandals. As we mentioned, this is kind of the entry tier experience for Sandals. It still is luxury, yes, but it's what I call traditional luxury. And I'll discuss what that means more when we get to the rooms here in a few minutes. But when it comes to dining, a lot of these options are good, solid quality options, but in terms of dining, you can expect that a lot of these are going to be some of the concepts which were developed by Sandals 10, 15, even 20 years ago. Of course, the restaurants have been refurbished in that time, but it's just to mention the concepts themselves are the time-proven, long-established concepts, right? So you're gonna have things, for example, like Kelly's Dockside, which is a seaside bar and grill where you can have over-the-water dining. You're gonna have options, for example, like the Reef Terrace, and then you're gonna have ones that exist at a lot of the Sandals and Beaches resorts, for example, soy. So if you are a sushi lover, soy is quite a consistent staple, and that exists at the vast majority of the Sandals resorts, and that's something which you definitely can enjoy there. Of course, you're also going to have things like tapas on the Riviera, which is wonderful. You're gonna have multiple pizza and Italian options, which is always a staple when it comes to any all-inclusive experience. You also have an experience which, for those who have not experienced this before, is something which is quite awesome. That is going to be your teppanyaki hibachi experience, which comes in the form of kimonos Oriental cuisine at Sandals. Kimonos, again, exists at most of the Sandals properties, and that is an opportunity for you to have live show cooking of the Japanese style in front of you. It's always a great experience, both in terms of the entertainment. I always find the chefs very entertaining there, and of course as well, the food there is pretty good. So there's a lot of options, and I won't go through all of the 16 restaurants in this video, but just know that whether you want to have traditional, jerk chicken there in Jamaica, or if you are looking for something like an Italian experience, if you want that show dining, if you want to have grab and go, or if you want to have something a bit more formal and want to sit down somewhere like Les Romands, for example, which is going to be kind of your European classical fine dining option in evening, you definitely have a spread of options to choose from there. So I would say definitely you're not going to go hungry when it comes to Sandals. Now, something as well which the Sandals leadership has been doing in recent times here, in the last few months I even should say, is we are seeing food trucks popping up all over the place when it comes to Sandals and Beaches resorts. So with these food trucks, currently at this very second that I'm making this video, there's not one at Sandals Ochi, but guess what? There is going to be one coming soon that is on the spectrum. I don't want to say an actual timeline, but it's possible by the time you have watched this video, it's already there. Or even more importantly, for those of you who are booking your stay in advance, that will be there by the time you arrive. So there's lots of developments happening, and I don't want to spoil a lot of them or promise any timelines on them, so I won't cover too many of the things that are forthcoming in this video, but just know that there are a lot of developments that are happening right now, which are definitely increasing quality of the stay. So that is our discussion about dining there. And know when it comes to dining, I also kind of use that as a pivot to talk about the bars, right? So when it comes to bars, you have a ton of options also. So not only do you have your 16 restaurants, but you have bars that are all over the place when it comes to Sandals. Now, there's one thing that I want to talk about in particular when it comes to bars, which is not just a bar, but it's a whole experience in and of itself. And this is the Caribbean's first, and to my existing knowledge, only true one, speakeasy. Yes, a speakeasy called the Rabbit Hole. So the Rabbit Hole is at Sandals Ochi and only at Sandals Ochi. This is something which is unique to this property and doesn't exist at any other Sandals or Beaches resort. So when it comes to a speakeasy, you might say, what is a speakeasy? Well, a speakeasy is a throwback to the Prohibition era. So the Prohibition era, where all alcohol was forbidden across the USA, this was a time where you found bars popping up underground in secret locations, and often they were extravagant, and they were ornate, and they were chic, and they were retro, and they offered a really unique ambiance. So you'll see even in a lot of top North American cities that speakeasies still exist now, even though the Prohibition era is long in the rearview mirror. That's because it's a really cool concept. When you go into the speakeasy here at Sandals Ochi, you will need a password, which is published on both kind of your daily program. You can also get it from any of the staff, and use that password to get through the bouncer there and to enter into the speakeasy, where you have this stunning setup. It's hidden in grass cover, so honestly, this little door, you wouldn't even know it's hardly there unless you know what you're looking for. But when you get in, you have a perfect 1920 setting that takes you straight back into historical era. And one of my favorite things from this is music. Certain nights of the week, you have live entertainment and music which happen in there, and let me just say, wow, some of the best jazz and contemporary singing I've ever heard has been in there. In fact, let's take a little 10-second look now. So I think that video says it all. The Rabbit Hole is a place where you definitely want to experience if you are thinking of attending Sandals Ochi. So that is one, of course, of many bar options. When it comes to the bar, you have a piano bar, you have bars with a view, you have inside bars, you have kind of pub style bars, and honestly, you have bars absolutely everywhere. Of course, you also have swim up bars. So you have options, and if you are someone that likes a good drink, you will definitely have no shortage of opportunities there. You will find premium liquors at this resort. Of course, there is a highlight and a major focus always on Appleton Estate rum. So Appleton Estate, of course, comes from Jamaica, and it is a beverage brand which is at the heart of the Caribbean and is Jamaican through and through. Of course, Sandals themselves is a Jamaican brand, so if you don't know that, a lot of people think Sandals is an American company. No, it is a Jamaican, and even though it exists throughout the Caribbean, the leadership of Sandals, born and raised Jamaican, as long as the ownership of Sandals, I might add. So when it comes to the drinks, you're gonna have a lot of Caribbean options. You're also gonna have all of your popular options that you would find on your, what I can kind of say, your lower top shelf in the USA, complimentary. When it comes to wines, there's a dedicated wine brand, which is an exclusive partnership with Robert and Dobby and the Twin Oaks varietals. You have 3 different varietals for white and also 3 varietals for red. And these are honestly pretty good quality. I've never had anyone, after servicing thousands and thousands of guests, I've never had anyone come back to me and tell me that the wine was terrible. Personally, I drink it in my own house and I enjoy it myself. It's a good, solid option. Of course, if you do want to experience a really high-end wine brand as a special treat or a special occasion, there is a special selection available for purchase there with the manager's wine menu, which is on the back of any menu, just as an extra option for those that want it. While we're talking about beverages as well, let's talk about coffee. So I know there's definitely going to be some coffee lovers here, and just like any of the Sandals and Beaches resorts, you're going to experience the wonderful, famous Jamaica Blue Mountain coffee, which is known to be one of the most premium coffees in the world. Now, this is a coffee which honestly I love. I cannot get enough of it, and people come from all over the world just to try this coffee. It's also a very expensive export, so the opportunity to come and have this as part of your all-inclusive program is really awesome. You have a variety of different places to get coffee, and every room and suite also includes coffee and tea inside the suite for your own consumption. For those of you who have any dietary needs or need something very specific, that's something where a service like mine at Reliant Destinations, we're happy to help. We're happy to pre-liaise with the resort and make sure you have exactly what you need. And as a reminder from earlier, of course, you can get in touch with us anytime at hello@reliantdestinations.com. When you're in resort as well, you will find that there is a culinary concierge desk, which allows for you to discuss any special dietary requirements in terms of the menus available for that evening. So, those are some things which you definitely want to know when you're thinking about a trip to Sandals Ochi. A few other things here while we're on this topic. So at Sandals Ochi, when it comes to rooms and suites, you have 19 different room categories, but there's also what I call 3 tiers of rooms at Sandals. So with only a couple of exceptions at a couple of properties which only have the upper tier, all Sandals resorts have 3 different tiers. So first and foremost, you have the entry level, which is called the luxury tier. Then you have a middle tier, which is called Club Sandals, and that is going to give you access to a Club Sandals lounge, and that's going to, in that lounge, you're going to have a dedicated concierge in there, somebody to help with advanced restaurant reservations for the restaurants that require dining reservations, which only a few do, by the way, but that option exists to help there. Of course, the ability to have any kind of suite assistance you need, and things like that, of course, with some snacks and its own little bar inside there as well. So that Club Sandals lounge is just an added benefit for those who are at the club tier. So the club tier is also going to have a little bit nicer rooms, and with that as well, you're going to be able to have a larger bar inside of the room itself, and is also going to include bathrobes amongst some other amenities. So that's what you should know about that second tier. When it comes to the rooms and suites here at Sandals Ochi, you're going to have a handful of these rooms which are at the kind of entry luxury tier, you could say. And then when it comes to your club tier, those are going to start with what we call the category code GC, which is going to be your club level garden cottage there. When it comes to club level, there's not a ton of options. There's only 2 different room types which are club level there. So the one I just mentioned, and then also a beachfront club option in the Riviera. Let's talk really quick about the layout of this resort before I talk about the top tier of rooms and suites. So this resort often is described as 2 sides to paradise. And so what that means is really, yes, there is 2 different sides to this resort. I'll be honest with you, something that isn't necessarily clearly communicated with this resort is that it is essentially 2 resorts, because there is actually a road that runs through the middle. So you have to exit one resort and then you go into the other resort, and there's a little shuttle that takes you in between and can help you around the clock. So don't worry about that, but just know that it is actually divided into 2 different properties essentially. So the 2 sides of paradise, you have the main area, then you also have an area down by the beach, which is going to be the Ochi Beach Club area. And so this beach club is actually is awesome. So actually, we'll show you now here on the screen. You can see some of this awesome footage from Ochi Beach Club. They do a lot of really wonderful parties and a lot of different events that happen down there on the beach club. All of them, of course, which are included in your stay. So for those of you who want a bit of activity and want some liveliness, honestly, this resort has a lot of lively action. But for those of you who also want quiet accommodation, it gives you the ability to stay further up away from all of this at nighttime. So then that comes to our top tier that we were talking about when it comes to the rooms and suites. So that is the Butler Elite. So yes, Butler Elite, those of you who are familiar with Sandals will already know that at Sandals, just about all of the resorts with Sandals and Beaches have the option to have butlers. These are always going to be your top tier suites. They're going to be the best positioned suites, the best view suites, the largest suites, the most modern suites, and of course they come with a wonderful array of benefits. They include every benefit that your club Sandals room or suite would have, but also include so much more. You get a dedicated butler team. So typically it's going to be a rotating team of 2 or 3 butlers throughout your stay, depending on how long you're staying. And these are not butlers that stand over you and kind of are in your space, but what I like to describe them as is they are the invisible force in the background of your vacation, making sure everything goes smoothly and that your experience is seamless. That's what it's about. And so your preferences, your customization, those are things which they are happy to help with. So whether it comes to something specific in the room that you would like to experience, or whether it comes to something like having your butler reserve a dedicated chair or cabana for you, all of these things are things which your butler can do. They can even set you up a complimentary private meal from one of the restaurants inside of your suite if you want. And the list goes on. And of course, they can help chauffeur you around different places in the resort as well, giving you, kind of priority and quickest access. They can help you get the best restaurant reservations, and they can help you really just experience every bit of a Sandals stay to the maximum. Now, what I would say is for those of you who have never experienced the butler before, Sandals Ochi is the place to do it to start. And here's the wonderful thing about it. Because of the price point of Sandals Ochi as the entry resort for Sandals and Beaches, it means that the butler suites are actually the cheapest butler suites of any of the Sandals resorts. In fact, some of the butler suites here at Sandals Ochi are actually cheaper than the entry room at some of the other more modern, recently opened Sandals resorts. So for those of you who the service is really important and you want to experience that, a butler suite at Sandals Ochi can make a lot of sense for some people. You have a variety of options, some that are going to be tucked away amongst kind of mango trees, and you have others that go all the way up to kind of beachfront options. But also what I like to say as well is you have some brand new options there. So one of the things which a lot of people are not aware of is that a lot of rooms have been renovated and are being renovated at Sandals right now. So at Sandals Ochi, a lot of rooms have just had some fresh renovations. So for example, there's actually the ability to have a freshly refurbished butler suite with about half the categories at this moment. And for those of you who are watching this after a few months, it's going to be even more. So they've been slowly going through all of these and refurbishing them, and even created a new room category to help you understand which ones have been freshly renovated there. But there's some options here which you don't want to miss. So one of my favorite suites, which has also just been renovated, is the RJ. So some of this footage I can show you here is of the way it was, and now it's a little bit of lighter ambiance there. And these are really cool because you have your own private pool sanctuary that's there in your actual suite that separates a sitting area and then a bedroom area. It's a really special experience. You also have 2 bedroom poolside butler villas that are here at Sandals Ochi. So if you are someone that's traveling with friends or family and you want to have kind of an option which has multiple bedrooms in it. That's something which now you have, and that's something which historically has not existed at Sandals. So as you can see, there's a lot of changes happening, all for the best when it comes to refurbishments and when it comes to new options there. Now, I would say rooms are a little bit tricky to navigate sometimes, so don't try to do it yourself. So that's why a service like ours is completely complimentary. It's funded by Sandals on your behalf, and we've won just about every award you can imagine out there as kind of a top global leader for Sandals. So don't hesitate to reach out. My team and I, we actually have an office in Jamaica on the ground, so you can get the real on-the-ground assistance and the best authentic real-time insights into everything. So again, reach out, hello@reliantdestinations.com. We always say if you're not reaching out, you might be missing out. So the final thing I want to talk about in this video is about activities. So activities, there's so much for everyone at Sandals Ochi. So the first thing is, just like at any other Sandals resort, you are gonna have PADI certified scuba diving. So that PADI certified scuba diving is truly wonderful. So there's two different angles here. A, if you are already PADI certified, then just make sure everything is up to date. You bring your certification with you, and then voila, you can actually have two tanks for free every day while you are there at Sandals. And there's a variety of options. They go out to different places depending on the time of day. And so in terms of experience Jamaica, oh my goodness, that is a wonderful opportunity to experience the sea life that surrounds the gorgeous coast of Jamaica. For those of you who are not yet certified, you have a couple of different options again. So you have an option to have just a little, what I kind of say, I call it the dipper course, but officially this course is going to be just your introduction to PADI. And this is an ability to go and have an intro course and see if it's for you. And at the end of that course, you get one dive with an instructor, which is quite awesome. Or you can do a full PADI course there. It's not something I necessarily recommend because, in my opinion, if you are going to come and have a stay at a luxury property that's all inclusive, well, you want to maximize your time there. So I always recommend doing as much of that as you can at home or online, as you can do a lot of it before you decide to come. And then maybe you can just finish your actual practical portions there in resort, saving you a lot of time and allowing you to get diving a lot quicker. But I know diving's not for everyone, so moving on, you have a lot of different choices. So for example, I don't necessarily love diving a whole lot myself, but I do love snorkeling. And there's snorkeling to happen right there just off of the beach club at Sandals Ochi. With water sports as well, you have kayaks, you have windsurfing, you have sailboats like hobby cats, there's paddleboarding, there's kneeboarding, you have glass bottom boats, you have aqua trikes. I mean, the list goes on and on. And for those of you who prefer to keep your feet flatly planted on land, I understand that as well. Beyond the wonderful beach scene and all of the amenities we've talked about in terms of bars, dinings, and all things like that, land activities abound. Yes, you have many pools here, so there are so many pools across the property, allowing you to choose your pool style, everything from large pools to small pools to jacuzzi pools and everything in between. But in terms of land activities as well, you have things like your table tennis shuffleboard, you have basketball available, you have tennis, which is available both during the daytime and the nighttime. There is beach volleyball, there's board games and oversized board games everywhere. There's pool tables, there's horseshoe, and honestly, the list goes on and on and on. So if you are someone that maybe gets bored easy, well, you're not gonna get bored. Well, honestly, I could go on and on, but this video is already getting lengthy. So what I'll just leave it on is I want to cover one more thing, which is the Red Lane. So Red Lane is going to be your spa at Sandals. It's an amazing, amazing thing. And the spa is an option to be able to relax. Now, what a lot of people don't know is the actual spa facilities themselves are included. So if you don't want to pay for a treatment, you still can use things like the sauna, for example. But there's a wonderful opportunity if you are there celebrating your love, celebrating romance. You can go and have something called the Sense of Love couple massage. I heavily recommend pre-booking this for our clients. We always recommend this. If you are booking with us, of course, just ask us and we will get the best time slot for you or give you some recommendations on this. But this is a side-by-side tandem massage, which you can each choose your own scent, your own candle, your own pressure massage style. There's so much there to customize that experience for you. And of course, for the fitness gurus as well, every red lane is always right next to a red lane fitness center, allowing you, of course, to burn off those calories from all the tasty food and drink if you're someone that doesn't want to wait until you're home to start that. But there we have it, folks. There's been just a lot of information there about Sandals Ochi. I know that there is so much to consider when you're thinking about a trip to tropical paradise. I know there are so many different things, and the truth is Sandals is not necessarily a very simple brand. But I always say, do you necessarily want it to be? Because if it was so simple, then it means the offerings would be limited, and that's probably not what you're looking for when it comes to an all-inclusive. So because it is a complicated brand, I highly suggest and recommend that you contact a certified sandals professional. It doesn't have to be myself, but if you are wanting to book with the best, we're here to help. Again, hello@reliantdestinations.com. My team and I at Reliant Destinations, we live and breathe sandals. We don't do anything else at Reliant Destinations, just Sandals and Beaches Resorts. And that is our focus day and night. So any questions you have, you can leave them if they're a quick question in the comments below. Also recommend having a look in that description below. There's so much information you definitely don't want to miss out on. And the last thing is I do like to point people towards our website as well, which has a cool personality quiz on it, which allows you to go and see which of the resorts actually are the best fit for you. So this, of course, is just one of many options. If you're looking for something that is more modern, looking for something that's an upgraded experience, if you've been here before, ready for something else, or just not sure which resort is for you, that type of quiz can help. And of course, if you send us your preferences, we of course can help as well. So that's it for this video, guys. Again, hello@reliantdestinations.com for any questions you have, and we encourage you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. On this channel, you literally have thousands of hours of content about Sandals and Beaches Resorts, room tours, resort tours, fact videos, and everything in between. You don't want to miss it. Thanks, guys, for stopping by the channel. I hope to even see you around sometime in resort. And until next time, thanks for stopping by.